Life has a way of testing every single one of us. We wake up each day hoping for progress, for clarity, and for strength. Yet life often presents us with obstacles that seem almost designed to wear us down. It's in these moments when life feels heavier than usual that the idea of mental strength becomes more than a phrase. It becomes a necessity. Dave Ramsey, the well-known financial advisor, speaker, and author, often reminds people that moving forward in life is less about luck or talent and more about the inner resilience you cultivate day after day. This is not just about money. It's about life itself. And in this journey, I want to walk you through the best way to stay mentally strong and move forward. According to the principles Ramsey has spent years teaching millions of people. Before we dive in, let me pause for a moment and ask you to do something simple but powerful. If you are watching or listening right now, make a decision. Commit to staying engaged. Don't just passively consume this message. Take notes, think deeply, and most importantly, take action when something clicks. And if you're here because you genuinely want to improve your life, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this with someone you know who could use the encouragement. Remember, growth never happens in isolation. By engaging with this content and spreading it, you multiply the impact. Now, to the core of it. What does it actually mean to be mentally strong? For Dave Ramsey, mental strength doesn't mean ignoring your struggles, pretending to be happy when you're not, or forcing yourself into endless positivity. Instead, it means embracing responsibility, facing the truth, and consistently making choices today that protect your tomorrow. It is about the discipline of refusing to let temporary emotions control permanent decisions. Think of it this way. Life is like a long road trip. On the way, your car is bound to face bumps, storms, flat tires, and maybe even engine trouble. You can sit on the side of the road and complain about how unfair the trip has been, or you can roll up your sleeves, fix what needs fixing, and keep moving forward. Ramsey often says that strength comes from acting in spite of fear, not the absence of fear. And that simple shift understanding that fear will always be there, but refusing to let it paralyze you is the beginning of mental toughness. One of the most consistent lessons Dave Ramsey has taught is that clarity brings strength. When people feel weak or stuck, it's usually because everything around them feels foggy. Their goals are unclear. Their next step is undefined. Their priorities are scattered. And so the mind becomes overwhelmed. The best way to counter this is to get specific. If you don't know where you're going, life will gladly waste your time for you. Ramsey urges people to be intentional, to decide what matters most, write it down, and pursue it relentlessly. For example, think of your financial life. Most people feel stress not because they don't make money, but because they don't tell their money where to go. They let circumstances, advertising, or habits dictate their spending. As Ramsey famously says, a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. But notice, this principle is bigger than money. It's about mental clarity. If you tell your goals where to go, if you direct your energy, your time, and your focus, then suddenly you stop living in a fog. And once the fog clears, strength naturally follows. But clarity alone isn't enough. Mental strength is also built through small victories. Too often, people wait for massive breakthroughs to feel strong. They want to pay off all their debt at once, lose all the weight in a month, or achieve instant success. When it doesn't happen, discouragement sets in. Ramsey flips this mindset by teaching the power of the snowball effect. He encourages people to start small, pay off the smallest debt first, celebrate that win, then roll that energy into the next. That psychological momentum fuels strength in ways that sheer willpower cannot. Life works the same way. If you want to stay mentally strong, stop waiting for massive victories. Instead, set yourself up for consistent, small wins that remind you of your progress. Each small step forward tells your brain, You're capable, you're moving, you're not stuck. And once you start to stack these wins, you feel unstoppable. Now, there is another key to mental resilience that Dave Ramsey emphasizes: refusing to be controlled by comparison. In today's world, social media can trick you into thinking everyone else is ahead, living the life you're not. The pressure of comparison eats away at mental strength faster than almost anything else. But Ramsey's advice is blunt. Stop looking at what others are doing. Focus on your lane. You don't know their story, you don't know their struggles, and you don't need to. Strength comes when you align your life with your own values and stop measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel. Let's pause here for another call to action. If this message resonates with you, if you've been battling discouragement, fear, or constant comparison, I want you to take a bold step. Share in the comments what specific area of your life you want to grow stronger in. Whether it's finances, relationships, career, or health, putting it into words is the first act of strength. And as you write it down, remember, clarity fuels strength and accountability keeps you moving. So don't just listen, declare your step. Another vital piece of Ramsey's perspective is the acceptance of delayed gratification. Mental weakness thrives on the need for instant results. When people give in to impulse, whether it's spending money they don't have, quitting on a goal because it's hard, or seeking temporary comfort instead of long-term growth, they rob themselves of resilience. Ramsey argues that mentally strong people understand that success takes time, and they are willing to endure temporary discomfort for permanent gain. The ability to say, "Not right now, but later," is one of the greatest muscles you can develop for your mind. Of course, delayed gratification is not easy. It means sitting with discomfort. It means saying no when every part of you wants to say yes. But here's the secret. Every time you practice it, you strengthen your will. Think of it like training in a gym. The more resistance you face, the stronger you become. So if you want to move forward in life, learn to see every moment of waiting, every delay, every resistance as an opportunity to build your mental muscle. Now, let's transition into something that might not always be comfortable: responsibility. Dave Ramsey never sugarcoats this part. He insists that you cannot be mentally strong if you spend your life blaming others, making excuses, or refusing to own your choices. Responsibility is heavy, yes, but it's also liberating. Because the moment you accept that your life is in your hands, you also accept the power to change it. Excuses make you powerless. Responsibility makes you unstoppable. Many people resist responsibility because it feels like admitting failure. But Ramsey frames it differently. Owning your mistakes is not weakness, it's maturity. It takes far more strength to say, "I messed up and I will fix it," than to hide behind excuses. Responsibility transforms you from a victim into a victor. And that mindset shift is at the heart of moving forward in life. To illustrate this, Ramsey often shares stories of people buried in debt who finally stopped blaming the economy, their upbringing, or their circumstances. Instead, they took ownership. They made sacrifices. They worked extra jobs. They sold things. They cut expenses. And step by step, they transformed their lives. The common thread was always the same. The moment they stopped waiting for someone else to rescue them, they found their own strength. So, let me ask you, where in your life are you waiting for rescue? Where have you been secretly hoping someone or something would come fix your situation? The truth is, rescue is not coming. But that's good news, because it means you already have everything you need to change your path. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need permission. You just need to decide. And once you decide, strength follows. As we near the midpoint of this first part, let me bring in one more critical idea: community. Mental strength doesn't mean isolation. It doesn't mean doing everything alone. Dave Ramsey often reminds people that the people you surround yourself with will either strengthen you or weaken you. If you spend time with people who complain, blame, or stay stuck, you will absorb their energy. But if you surround yourself with people who are disciplined, hopeful, and forward-moving, you will naturally rise to their level. This is why Ramsey encouraged people to be intentional about community. Join groups, find accountability partners, build relationships with people who lift you higher. Because no matter how strong you think you are, your environment always influences you. Community is like the wind. It can either push you forward or pull you back. Choose wisely. Before we close this first part, let's anchor the key lessons we've covered. Clarity, small wins, focus on your lane, delayed gratification, responsibility, and community. Each of these is not just an idea, but a discipline. And when you apply them, you begin to notice that your inner world becomes more stable, more confident, more resilient. That's mental strength. And no, here's the final call to action for this first half. Don't just let this message fade into the background noise of your day. Take one principle, just one, and put it into action within the next 24 hours. Maybe it's writing down a clear goal. Maybe it's making a small financial decision that moves you forward. Maybe it's calling a friend who inspires you. Whatever it is, do it now. Because strength isn't built in theory. It's built in practice. And your next step, however small, is the proof that you're moving forward. This is just the beginning. In the second half of this video, we're going to go deeper into the habits, the mindset shifts, and the real-life applications that will help you stay mentally strong and continue advancing no matter what life throws your way. So stay with me, because the journey is far from over. We left off with the reminder that mental strength is not a single decision but a daily practice. Clarity, small wins, avoiding comparison, delayed gratification, responsibility, and community. Each of these lays a foundation, but now let's build further. Because staying mentally strong isn't only about starting the journey. It's about continuing it through seasons of fatigue, setbacks, and uncertainty. Dave Ramsey's wisdom shows us not just how to get strong, but how to remain strong for the long haul. One of the most profound aspects of mental resilience, according to Ramsey, is persistence. Too many people give up right before the breakthrough. They face difficulty, setbacks, or discomfort, and they assume the dream isn't meant to be. But what if the truth is that the discomfort is the very sign you're close to growth? Ramsey often points out that progress feels hard because it's stretching you. Growth isn't comfortable, but it is always worth it. If you want to move forward in life, you must embrace persistence as a lifestyle, not something you do occasionally, but something you live daily. Persistence is often misunderstood. People think it's about never resting, never slowing down, or never admitting weakness. But true persistence is about refusing to quit even when you need to adjust. You can pause, you can adapt, you can reevaluate, but you never surrender. Ramsey says that the only people who don't succeed are the ones who quit too early. That's not just financial advice, it's life advice. If you want to build a strong mind, remind yourself daily, I will not quit. I might stumble, I might take longer than I hoped, but quitting is not an option. Now, persistence requires something else: discipline. Mental toughness is built on the discipline of showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Think about this. How often do people say they'll change their life when they feel ready? But if you wait until you feel ready, you'll never begin. Ramsey emphasizes discipline over feelings because feelings are temporary, but habits are permanent. He often advises, live on less than you make, stay on a budget, keep paying off your debts, even when you don't feel like it. That's discipline. And the same applies to every other area of life: your health, your relationships, your career. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. If you're listening to this right now, here's an action for you. Pick one thing in your life you've been inconsistent with, and commit to doing it daily for the next 7 days, no matter how you feel. It could be exercising, saving a small amount of money, reading for growth, or waking up earlier. Prove to yourself that discipline matters more than mood. And when you make it through those 7 days, you'll notice a new strength forming in your mind, the belief that you can count on yourself. But discipline doesn't mean rigidity. Another key to staying mentally strong is flexibility. Life will not always go according to your plan. Unexpected bills, sudden job losses, illnesses, or disappointments are part of the journey. If you're too rigid, you'll break under pressure. But if you remain flexible, you can adapt without losing direction. Ramsey teaches this balance in finances. You need a plan, but you also need to adjust when life surprises you. The same applies mentally. Make your plans, but hold them with open hands. Flexibility doesn't weaken you. It equips you to bend without breaking. Here's where many people struggle. They confuse flexibility with lack of commitment. They think adjusting their approach means they've failed. But that's not true. Strength lies in knowing when to pivot. A mentally strong person understands that the goal is fixed, but the path can change. For example, maybe you plan to grow your career a certain way, but opportunities didn't unfold as expected. Instead of quitting, you find another route to the same destination. That is flexibility, and that is strength. Another powerful truth Ramsey shares is that progress is rarely linear. We love to imagine that success is a straight line upward. But in reality, it looks more like a jagged staircase up, down, forward, back, then up again. If you believe that setbacks mean you're failing, you'll lose heart. But if you see setbacks as part of the process, you'll endure. Ramsey has seen countless people get discouraged after a financial setback and emergency, a job loss, a failed business, and walk away from the plan altogether. But those who understand that setbacks are temporary always bounce back. And bouncing back is where true strength is revealed. Think about your own life. How many times have you faced a setback and assumed it was permanent? But when you look back now, you realize it was just one chapter, not the whole story. This perspective is essential. Setbacks are not the end. They are detours. And sometimes, those detours prepare you better than the straight path ever could. The key is to keep going, even when it feels like you've moved backward. Mental strength means remembering. Every step, forward or backward, can still move you closer to growth if you refuse to quit. Now, let's address another enemy of strength: fear of failure. Many people never move forward because they are paralyzed by what might go wrong. But Ramsey teaches that failure is not final. It's feedback. Every failed attempt teaches you what not to do next time. Every mistake provides a lesson that builds wisdom. He often says that some of the greatest success stories began with repeated failures. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent. It's the willingness to learn and keep trying. This is critical. Fear cannot stop you unless you let it. If you want to stay mentally strong, you must redefine failure. Stop seeing it as proof that you're not good enough, and start seeing it as part of the training process. Think of failure like lifting weights. Each time you struggle under the weight, your muscles grow stronger. Each failure strengthens your ability to handle more. The only true failure is quitting altogether. Everything else is progress in disguise. At this point, let me pause again for a call to action. If you've been held back by fear, if you've avoided taking a step because you're worried about failing, I want you to decide today to act anyway. Share in the comments what step you're finally going to take, even if fear is whispering in your ear. Declare it, and then do it. Remember, action silences fear, and courage grows only when it's exercised. Let's move now to another truth about strength: gratitude. At first glance, gratitude may not seem connected to mental toughness, but Ramsey highlights how essential it is. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, from what you lack to what you already have. And that shift guards your mind against discouragement. When you live with gratitude, setbacks lose their power to crush you, because you can still see the blessings around you. Gratitude turns struggle into perspective. For example, someone drowning in debt could spend all their energy focusing on how heavy the burden feels. But if they instead focus on the progress they've made, the support they have, or even the fact that they have the ability to earn and change, their mindset transforms. Gratitude doesn't remove challenges, but it lightens the load by reminding you of what's already good. And that, in turn, makes you stronger for the journey ahead. But gratitude isn't passive, it must be practiced. Ramsey encourages people to celebrate small wins, to say thank you often, and to keep perspective even in tough times. Mentally strong people make gratitude a daily habit. They don't wait for everything to be perfect to feel thankful. They choose to be thankful in the midst of imperfection. And that choice builds resilience. That another vital practice for staying mentally strong is learning to say no. This is one of the hardest disciplines in modern life. We live in a culture of constant yes to every opportunity, yes to every request, yes to every distraction. But every yes drains your energy. Ramsey argues that if you want to move forward, you must protect your focus by saying no to what doesn't align with your values. Mentally strong people are not people who do everything. They are people who do the right things consistently. Saying no is not selfish. It's wise. Each time you say no to something unimportant, you are saying yes to something that truly matters. Protect your focus and your strength will multiply. Otherwise, you'll burn out chasing everything and accomplishing nothing. Ramsey himself has shared how he declined opportunities that looked impressive but didn't fit his mission. That clarity preserved his strength and kept him moving forward with purpose. Now let's talk about resilience in relationships. Mental strength doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's tested most in how you treat others. Dave Ramsey stresses the importance of integrity and kindness, even when it's difficult. Life will test your patience through conflict, betrayal, or disappointment in people you love. The temptation is to harden your heart, to become cynical. But cynicism doesn't make you strong, it makes you brittle. True strength is the ability to maintain integrity and compassion even in the face of difficulty. Mentally strong people know how to set boundaries without losing kindness, how to forgive without being naive, and how to love without losing themselves. That balance keeps you steady in relationships and prevents emotional chaos from derailing your progress. Another key mindset shift is focusing on what you can control. Ramsey constantly reminds people that much of life is outside your control: the economy, the weather, the past, other people's choices. If you waste energy on what you cannot change, you weaken yourself. But if you channel energy into what you can control, your choices, your actions, your response, you gain strength. Mental toughness is not about controlling the world. It's about controlling yourself in the world. That's where power lies. Let's also not forget the role of rest. People often think that strength means never slowing down. But rest is not weakness, it's renewal. Ramsey warns against burnout, because a burned out person cannot move forward effectively. Rest is part of discipline. Taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit is what enables you to keep going long term. Mentally strong people know when to push and when to pause. They understand that balance is not laziness. It's wisdom. And here's something many overlook: generosity strengthens you. Ramsey teaches that giving is not just about money. It's about cultivating a mindset of abundance. When you give your time, resources, encouragement, you remind yourself that you have enough. Scarcity breeds fear, but generosity breeds courage. Mentally strong people don't cling tightly to everything they have. They share, and in sharing, they grow stronger. Generosity shifts your perspective from "I might lose" to "I can always create." And that is empowering. As we near the close of this second part, let's gather the remaining threads: persistence, discipline, flexibility, setbacks as detours, failure as feedback, gratitude, saying no, relational resilience, focus on what you can control, rest, and generosity. These are not separate lessons, but connected practices that together form the backbone of mental strength. They are not ideas to simply know. They are actions to live daily. And when you do, you will find that no matter what life throws at you, you are not shaken, you are steady. So here's the final call to action for this video. Don't just let this be another piece of content you consumed. Decide now what principle from these lessons you will implement today. Write it down, share it in the comments, and then commit to action. Mental strength is not built by listening. It's built by living. And every small step you take is proof that you are moving forward. If you found this message valuable, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Because when you strengthen yourself, you also have the power to strengthen others. And together, we build a stronger community, one decision at a time. You are stronger than you think. You have more control than you realize. And no matter what your past looks like, your future is waiting to be built one disciplined, resilient, and courageous step at a time. Stay strong, keep moving forward, and never forget, you are capable of more than you can imagine.